the other big thing from this weekend, the big news item, you love an 11:45 p.m. Sunday
Oh yeah.
mass extension
Yep.
by the Bengals with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase now the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. T. Higgins the highest paid wide receiver too, which is something that an agent might throw in there to make everybody if you
I don't know
happen to
who's
be
been keeping those stats, but
yeah, if you happen to
Rocky
be
Arsenal has.
I'm sure he has.
Yeah.
Um, I the Bengals are tough, man, because now
Yeah.
we're looking at the situation and you got to re-sign Trey Hendrickson too.
It's harder to
And
call him cheap now.
well, and okay, let's get that point out of the way first. The Bengals have not been cheap since Zach Taylor got there.
Yeah.
Zach Taylor, I think his first 2 years, I
They
think it's his first
splurged
2
in
years.
free agency.
They
Yeah.
did. They led the
When they
league
went
in
and got
free
DJ
agency spending.
Reader and
Yes.
W.
Yep.
Wuzie, like, and
Yes.
they were splashy in free agency, and they even have made moves like, going and getting Orlando Brown.
Yes.
Like they've done things that, I mean, sort of fly in the face of the idea that they're cheap. Now, the big thing for them has been the cash flow issue, and it's paying down future guarantees. And they had that policy against paying future guarantees or setting up future guarantees. And then they went back on that with Joe Burrow. And I presume they went back on it with these two contracts too. We'll have to get a look at the finer details, but I would presume to get Jamar Chase to come in, who I think is probably he may be doing his job at as high a level as any player in football.
Right. He might
now.
be one of the 4 best players in the
Right.
NFL, period, regardless of
Yeah.
position. Yeah.
I mean, we can talk about positional value. Obviously, quarterback's the most valuable, but like, as far as just, I do my job at a higher level than anybody, I think Jamar Chase would have a case to say that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, so I would assume like the guarantees have to be very real. The number out there is always a moving target. What's an injury guarantee? What's a full guarantee? But this is certainly like breaking from policy for the Bengals, which is a good thing. And I think you have to give Joe Burrow credit for it too. You know what I mean? Like, for turning the temperature up on the team. And his line, I always think of his line. It was, our championship window is my whole career. And he really views it that way, and this is a guy who, I've gotten to know him a little bit. Like, I think he's genuinely cares about winning first.
Right.
That's what matters most to him. And there are players where I don't think you can, not with him. Like, with him, winning is the most important thing, period, end of story. And I think that was sort of the pretense for him coming to Cincinnati in the first place. You remember, there were questions coming out of LSU, like, is Joe Burrow going to be okay with going there? And the history of the franchise, he changed what they were when he went there, and I think he continues to change what they are now. And like, the pressure that he put on the Bengals, like, that was very real. Like, that's a franchise that went through the Carson Palmer thing 15 years ago and didn't want it to happen again. And credit to them for stepping up, and credit to Joe for knowing what he had to do to change the dynamic in Cincinnati.
Grab your phone and your dancing shoes. It's time to make entries on March College Basketball with Underdog. Do you want to win up to 1,000 times your money? You can with Underdog. To play, choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. You can play with as little as $1, and if you get everything right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money. So turn $1 into $1,000 with your hoops knowledge. This week on Underdog, guys, I'm looking at some college basketball, thinking Cooper Flagg might go higher than 18 points, Derek Queen higher than 10 rebounds. Download the Underdog app and sign up now using the promo code MMQB to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus credits when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with promo code MMQB. Claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus credits instantly upon first deposit. You must be 18 years or older, 19 in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 and older in Colorado for some games, 21 and older in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Void where prohibited. Terms apply. Are you concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. My one question is this. Are they spending, like, this was a deal you had to do, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things where, like the transmission on your car goes and you also need a root canal, and like you just kind of have to do it because
Yeah.
there are things that need to be taken care of right now.
And it
But
sucks, but yeah, you're
and
right
it
to say.
sucks, but do they need so much
I know.
more to realize the
So
potential of all the you know what I mean? Like,
this is
it's
the
just
Bill Polian Colts. That's sort of where I've come to my
that's a
I've
great
come to
comp.
I've come to a I've come to my piece with what they're doing here and how they're doing it, and it's the Bill Polian Colts.
That's a great comp.
And they paid, if you remember, Peyton Manning, Edgerrin James, Dallas Clark, Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, Tariq Glenn. Like, their spending on offense was immense. And if you remember, part of the logic in them hiring Tony Dungy after they fired Jim Mora was, okay, we've got this like galaxy of stars on offense, and we need somebody who's going to build a defense that's going to be simple and have guys who play fast, because that way we can draft players and really legitimately believe we can plug them in right away and we can get the most out of them while they're on their rookie contracts. And that's how we're going to cheat the numbers, right? Is like, we're going to have a defense that's loaded with guys on their rookie contracts. And they did have their stars, Dwight Freeney, obviously, Robert Mathis. But for the most part, if you look at those Colts teams, when Dungy was there, they were exceedingly young on defense. And that's sort of, I think, the pressure on Duke Tobin and his group now is like, yeah, maybe you get Trey Hendrickson done, right? So that'd be good. But you're going to have to win with draft picks on
Yep.
defense. You're going to have to win. That's going to be the path to winning. So how do you build a defense that's going to be user friendly for second, third, fourth year guys? And that's the question. And again, like, you're going to have a couple pieces. Like, you have your Hendrickson, Logan Wilson. They paid him. Like, he's going to be the kind of, maybe if you want to carry the comparison out, the Gary Brackett, right? Like, of the defense. And that puts pressure on those guys. That puts pressure on Duke Tobin to hit on draft picks on defense. And it puts pressure on Al Golden too, their new defensive coordinator. And I'm sure they've had this discussion to come in and be able to get guys up and running fast. The good thing about bringing Al Golden in is, like, so he was in Cincinnati before, so he has some knowledge of the dynamic there. On top of that, he's coming from Notre Dame. He's coming from the college game, so he has now a very real understanding of where guys at that level are coming from. So maybe he's more capable of building something that's user friendly for them.
Here's just hoping he doesn't zero blitz at the when the game with the friggin' national championship on the line.
Well, I mean, I would say if there is a receiver on the planet who has got a chance to be better than Jamar Chase, then he might have been the guy who's running under that ball in
Oh,
January.